Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM Yeti, episode number 42. Remember, last time we had a double victory, 2 stages back to back. Phenomenal result, both getting us a couple of Pop 5 nations. Well, we nearly won the overall. Nearly. We needed 4 more seconds for G, and he finished second behind Panamar. So if I had nerfed Panamar and given the victory to G, he would have been on save time and maybe would have taken the overall as well. Could maybe have been a triple victory. But in nerfing Panamar, he almost certainly would have slipped down to 3rd or 4th, and it would have hurt his race just a bit. Well, I'm actually kind of pleased now that I didn't get that. I mean, that overall, which circumstances, right? We have no idea whether we would have won it on count back or who got there first with Philip. Like, hard to say whether we would have taken the overall or not as a result. But one thing is now certain: had we done that, Canada, which has already got a Pop 5, would not have gained anything. However, Ukraine, plus 3 points, it's now a 5 Pop nation. That's fantastic. I'll take it. That's a good trade-off. Oh, and then we didn't get into the Giro or Milano Sanremo. We're now 2 for 12 on World Tour invites. With the Figura Champions Classic, we're just under 60k left. We have a circuit with a decent climb to it that we are doing 4 times. We've done it twice already. It's stretched out enough that it's not that big of a deal. What is a big deal, though, is we've got a breakaway of 13. It still has a 3-minute advantage. They're not going to be an easy catch from here, and I think the tempo is definitely starting to pick up on this climb. It's also time that I accelerate just a bit and hold our position better than before, because we are seeing the field yo-yo quite a bit, and in fact 23 riders just got away, and this time we find ourselves for the first time on the back end of it. It's been yo-yoing a lot over the first couple of climbs, and it's a smaller chase group, and it does come back together, but you got to be real careful as things can get out of hand with this pretty dang quickly, especially over the next one. I think the next one will be the decisive moment of this, and there's a lot of fatigue in the legs. G and Hallinan, Panamar still looking pretty good as our stronger climbers. Abdullah and Panamar were both going to be amongst leaders today, but Abdullah with a -3. Panamar is just too good, so we bring him in anyway. And it's time for these guys all to gel up. And whoa, into the climb, and this break just attacked just now. Vandenberg, Cluckers, Oliveira, a lot of top guys. 21k still to go, and I think we're going to have to, gosh, it's 4 riders is all we have left. G is the leader, so let's go ahead and protect G. Okay, there's a big acceleration immediately following. I don't need to be going sprint train long term. What I do need is sprint train short term. So Shui to take the brunt of the climb, keep us in position with the others, and then we can just sit on for later. It is going to result in a sprint at the end. And looking at that, G is definitely the leader for this one. Hallinan, I think his +3 is going to bump him at a Panamar. It just kind of has to, even though it wouldn't normally. And there you go. There's our order. Jouet, push hard to keep us in line with the chase group, as it could split very quickly here. And now we can back off a little bit as we're in position.
Some dreadful percentages.
It's in contact. Peloton is shrinking. Okay, Jouet. Out of energy, but I'm trying to hang on. It's another sitting up situation. And there are some guys that have escaped here. Sfazian, or is that the front group splitting up? Jouet is done, but we've got a descent coming. I'm going to let him kind of push on for the moment and still lead this thing out. You can see through the little saddle, he gets a little recovery in. It's going to pull him out front once again. It'll use up his energy, but then we'll crest and descend, and so he can just hang on that little bit longer. So the Peloton's down to 38. Now, what happened at the front, though? Let me see. Okay, that's the front 13, and they're still being chased down. We're still a minute down, so this is what's left Actually, I'm not entirely convinced by that. I think those guys attacked, and that we've caught some of the breakaway, but it just happens to be 13 again. That's definitely what's left of the breakaway, though. Gonsalves is there. Tisvatsi and Vandenberg, I think, are the ones, maybe Furtado, that you need to watch out for the most of all of this. Let's go ahead and set up Panamar. Panamar is going to have to take over, and I think we might actually have to lead a chase. I was going to sit on, but I think sitting on is not going to do us a whole lot of good as we hit the base. We do catch up to the first group. The first group was more threatening, but Panamar's got to take over here. Shui, can you hold on? So I've got 4 riders left. I've got 11K left, and there is a chase still occurring. That's good. Panamar can... And then it sits up again as we catch the next rider, but 6 are away, and then the next attacks. So we're gonna have to just kind of keep pushing steadily along the way, bridge the gap to the front 6, not allow breaks to, branch off one after another, and just kind of keep pushing on. And then Helenen's gonna have to lead out G here at the end. Let's go ahead and go a little early on Helenen on the gel, because I think Panamar is about to break, and we're gonna have to get on to Helenen, especially still chasing the front 5, and then Ballerini and Alaphilippe, and a lot of good riders here. 5.6K still downhill. G, let's gel now. G's in position, 21 riders left chasing, still a front 6, 1 dropped from that group, but he's still kind of hanging on. He's about to bridge that gap somehow. 3K, let's start pushing on from here. Helenen, I think you can almost soft sprint now, and we've caught the group, and we're in position, and here goes Derek G, and here goes the other sprinters around us. Good for the overall. It's only a pro race where a win is not necessary, and it's not happening anyway. Gazzoli takes the win ahead of Oliveira, and G gets 8th. We get 8th. Halenen's going to come in that little bit further down in 17th. And Panamar, just get as high as you can. I think you're still just high enough maybe for some points. Just maybe? No, 30th. Might be like 1 point or something. Not a bad race, but not a great race either. Kind of needed sprinters for this one, and I only brought punchers, and it wasn't really a punchy one. It was a small group, but if you protect a sprinter well enough, they could go on and win, and Derek G is not that guy. So I think based on the team we brought to this race, the results expected. We are up to a total of 15 World Tour events that have already announced the teams, and we finally get our 3rd. So 1 of 5 for now, 20%. I don't think we'll ever get higher than that. We might get below 10%, but I think we'll hover somewhere around 10 to 15 in the end. 20 for now is okay. It's okay. E3 Saxo Bank, the classic there, is the 3rd one that we've gotten an invite to. So I had 3 4.5-star guys and 3 4-star guys, and one of those 4 stars has not only joined the 4.5-star guys, but is now our highest rated rider overall. Edvin Haglund, the one with the fantastic potential at just 20 years of age, is moving right on up. Now 4.5 stars, stage race wise is 4.5 stars, puncher wise is 4.5 stars. I need to check to see what his plus on attributes is. Give me a second. The gain for Haglund is 17 points overall, which is just crazy. He's got a couple of +4s. One of those +4 is incredibly valuable, and the other one decently valuable. Big change. Let's break it down. Beginning with +1s, there's 3 of them. His mountain rating, his hills rating, and his time trial rating, all +1. All 3 valuable gains. There's also 3 +2s for him. Flat rating, downhill rating, and Barrador rating. I mean, that's got to go somewhere at some point. It's definitely a waste of 2 points for a human team, but we do simulate races from time to time, but him having a Barrador rating doesn't matter if he's going to be a GC contender. No +3s, but 2 big +4s. Big. The minor one, resistance, from a 67 to a 71, is a healthy gain. He needs it for the punchy finishes, and it definitely makes him stronger, makes him last longer. No stamina points gained this time, but it's a 75 right now. That was a healthy number. We're obviously going to need that to go up as he continues to grow and develop, but it's a good number. It's still a good number already, at least relative to his other attributes. But the big thing here is a +4 to his medium mountain rating. His weakest climbing skill has gone neutral. It's gone right down the middle, and he's really starting to pick up. I mean, a 75 medium mountain is something we can do a lot with. It's not compared to World Tour guys at all at this point, but it's going to help him get a lot more results across the board, a lot more top 10s type scenario, and not just winning nothing races, but competing at a higher and higher level. Next up, we need that mountain rating to come along, and maybe I'll switch his focus to climbing for this next level at least, to see if we can get 2 or 3 points to that mountain one and get it up to a 75, 76, 77 kind of territory, and then we can go back to stage racing, because obviously he still needs the time trialing and has plenty of room for growth there. And with 3+ 4.5 star guys, our position in Continental Pro is pretty well guaranteed for the coming season. I think we're in good shape on that one. I mean, as long as we still retain all 4 guys, that is, I think we've got at least 1 expiring contract. I know Hagland has 1 more year. We just signed between Zhu and Shaw. One of them may be expiring, but I'm not so sure about that. Zhu is the only top rider on the team that is got an expiring contract this year. He'll definitely be due a pretty healthy pay raise, but he's already pretty much at his capacity. He doesn't have a lot of room left for growth, and is 25. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be like pick roll territory, or only just above that, maybe 12K or something. So about a 10K increase from what he has now. Definitely worth it to hang on to with what's available to us anyway for another couple years anyway for Zhu. And now that we're in Continental Pro, retaining riders, getting that interest level up higher should be a lot easier. As a Continental team, quality riders just weren't very interested in signing for us, and we weren't getting hardly anybody up into the green except for prospects. So the guys with some quality, they'll be a little easier to sign this year than they were the last couple of years, and that should make it a little easier to keep the salaries a little healthier, a little on the lower side. And as long as we do get another healthy increase in sponsorship money, I don't think we'll have much of a problem with that. There's a lot of expiring otherwise. This whole bottom end are all 2028 guys. So there's going to be some turnover, because this is all our like 3.5 star guys, and outside of like Shui and maybe Lubers, there isn't much potential in this group. This was a lot of our guys that, you know, when we were just getting the ball rolling and just starting to snowball in some nations that were on the weaker side. There's definitely some better options out there now. Of course, that short list will be a key place to compare these guys with those guys. See what we've got. Make some ultimate decisions, you know, on, of course, some of what's out there won't be available. They've got multi-year contracts at teams and won't necessarily be available this year either. But we've already snowballed in a couple larger pop nations, but remember, not necessarily good nations, as one had a training rating of 1 and one had a training rating of 2, and fingers crossed there's more wins to come, pop 4, pop 5, whatever. But if we could snowball in another nation or two, there's bound to be a few new options amongst those. And with all these expiring contracts, there's definitely going to be a somewhat different look to the team next year, but that's mostly out of the domestiques side and not the leader side. We're at stage 2 for the Tour of Oman. It's a pro race. It's a race we haven't gotten into in previous years, but now that we are Continental Pro and made it into a quarter of them, it's in that expanded list. We are going to look for stage wins and especially high GC finish 2 climbs on this one. We just went through the first of those. We just also caught the breakaway. There's 90 riders left, and there's also just 15 kilometers left. We're going to want to be in position before the sprint point because there's going to be an acceleration, and sometimes you can take an advantage of the acceleration for the intermediate sprints, and we're now 3K, so it's time. Sometimes you could take advantage of those and turn it into an aggressive move immediately after and take off, and with a short climb, it's a great opportunity for us to maybe do just that. Very mixed bag for race day condition. Of course, this is not one of our key objectives or anything along those lines, but we do have a decent field for this one. Hagland, Pickrell, Chang are going to be the leaders today, and then Zippinati. So I know Chang's going to follow Zippinati. That was kind of the decision making that I was making there on who's what. Altengaro could have been one of our, maybe could have been one of our leaders. Zhu, Altengaro, low race day condition, so they're going to go first. Lubers, and is it going to be Pickrell or Hagland? Oh, definitely Pickrell, as he is the. All right, here comes that acceleration for the points. Zhu could almost make it look like he's riding for the points, though he's not. Okay, there comes their setting up, and now we just push on. There's a little bit of a hill right here. This is not the climb yet. You crest there. We're coming into the pass, though, for it. And Zhu's going to keep pushing on that a little bit longer. He's got good pace, 90. Okay, here comes the point in time where we want to engage and go for it. Only 2.5K. Pickrell, Hagland, they're the ones to keep an eye on. We want to go flat out for now. It's just starting to impact those two, and as we go further down the line, it's going to impact them more. But this is where you can get that separation. This is where you can get that separation. Like Zippinati can go clear. Zippinati can go clear. But others are chasing. Others are chasing already. So Chang, Lubers, how much energy do you have? Go ahead and jump onto the back of this thing. Chang, don't go chase. Don't chase down your team. It's 1.6K. It's 1K. Hold. Zippinati. Sprint. Come on. Ah, he's gonna get swept at the line. I reacted too late. Vashek takes the win. Zippinati gets second. Good points, but I think Zippinati had so little energy left. 100 meters earlier, I think he's got that quarter of a bike length better, and that would have been enough to hang on for the win. And then Hagland comes through. Pickrell didn't even hardly get his sprint going. I didn't realize just how short the gap was from the bottom of the hill to the finish line. But we're all over the top placings. And was there separation in the field to help in the GC situation? I guess we'll find out in a second. Final 11K stage 3, no breakaway. It's already been caught, and we are pushing on with a big effort to get forward. It's classified as a punchy stage. There's just a little bit of hills on the way here to the finish, and it's definitely not flat, but it's very much a sprint. Now, Hagland is just getting tow as kind of a GC guy. Zhu is the top sprinter. Pickrell is kind of the actual overall leader. And then as we try to navigate this one, Zippinati is on good time, so we're going to use him and make sure that he very quickly gets shuffled back into the mix. But that does a little damage to everyone. That was kind of the hill, I think. There's not another to come after this, I don't think. Very well positioned right now, though. Nobody's up alongside us, and it's 3K. So Chang is going to now lead this thing out. That's the 2 riders, though. So we're definitely into the last little bit. And we're going to start sprinting. Pickrell taking off at 1.5. This is going to put a lot of pressure on everybody else as we kind of hit the hill. I'm going to wait a little bit longer now. Zhu, we split apart, but here comes Kolnagi? And Hagland, I didn't tell Hagland to sprint, and he still had something left because he could handle the hill a little better than Zhu could. Zhu dropped a lot of energy on that hill, more than expected. So we get a 4.57, which is points. It is definitely worth points. Like I said, we are really trying to just hammer out lots and lots and lots of top tens, especially in GC. Not necessarily targeting wins as before, targeting lots of bodies up near the front of the race. We did get separation on that previous stage after like 46th place, so a lot of riders lost half minute plus there, kind of bringing them down the pecking order in the GC, and I don't think we got much separation today though, so we'll head on to the next stage. Stage 4 is medium mountain territory. Zhu gets a -5 that is. I'm actually kind of happy about that because it feels like it opens the scenario for me karma wise, right? Offsetting numbers, that we've got a number of guys in good race day condition otherwise. So Zhu getting us to the base. I don't have any reason to push extra hard right now with Lubers, but Zhu with a -5, you don't want him handling the climb at all anyway. So as soon as we kind of hit the base here, where it's got is Pogacar here? No way, Pogacar's not. We'll push on. It's 7K. It's 9.9, so 10%. It's going to take a little bit of work to get up there, right? It's definitely going to take a little bit of work to get up there. So right now, just trying to get that good head start, and then you've got some guys really pushing for it here, going deep, and it's going to be hard for them to maintain that. Lubers out of red bar, but give me a 99 for a little bit longer here. 4.7. Good work from Lubers here. Really good work from Lubers here. 4.5. See how he's offsetting. Okay, we're starting to see a new kind of wave of attack. So let's move on from Lubers. He's done well. On to Chang. 3.9. On to Pickrell. Now again, I don't want just anybody at the front. This is more of a traditional stage where you gotta just kind of go for it though. 2.9. I got 3 guys left. Hagelin's actually handling this pretty well right now. It looks like he's recovering some red bar onto Alton Garrel. Pulling through 2K. So Zippinati and Hagelin ready to come through, but we're not in the greatest position to do that here. And I'd like both of them to still be well placed as 2 riders get off the front. One's wearing rainbow bands, so we might have to be settling for, you know, kind of what comes next. Final kilometer. Sprinting, soft sprinting with Zippinati, leading out for Hagelin. Can Hagelin come through for like a 3rd place? Last 500 meters, he's going to attack and do that. It is Pogacar. Pogacar's freaking here. And then Mark Hershey let him out. Gil Martin is going to get 3rd, but Hagelin's going to get a really solid 4th if he can beat Knox to the line. He doesn't beat Knox to the line. It's 5th. That's still a really good stage result. And we're going to be well placed in the GC here with Hagelin. Zippinati also well placed. I'll take it. Time gaps were definitely given on this one, obviously at the front. Gil Martin gets 5 seconds and the 4-second time bonus. But we have a small group at 38 and then a group at 43, and Zippinati was in good time earlier. And then Alton Garrel still gets that same time, top 29, and then it's going to really open. So what does that do for the GC? Of course, Pogacar moves into the lead with Hershey 2nd. No surprise there. Martin does move into 3rd. Vasek keeps a top 5 position, and Zippinati is now 6th place, on the same time as the 5th place guys, who could still maybe secure 5th place. And Hagelin is right there, those 3 in 7, 8, 9. Alton Garrel also in 14th, means we got 3 guys in the top 15. Well worth the efforts we're making to secure a decent amount of points for this race. We'll want to try to keep all 3 of them up there. One more stage to go. The final stage is a shorter, more aggressive stage, and it's my favorite, one of my favorite stages on the calendar. I really enjoy this one. You got a skinny road here, split highway type scenario, and you go up, you loop back, go back over the other way through this short steep mountain pass, and then you loop back and go back forward again, and then on to the finish. I would love it if the finish of this was at the top, but without that, finishing in town makes it a little less exciting, but you're going to get a lot of splits, and you're going to get an aggressive stance, and having these back-to-backs with the loop back coming pretty quickly as we now hit the base of it. So we've gone through once. Let's get up to an 85 on this one and hold. We're definitely going to want to set up a third one. The third one at least has a sprint point at the top. Is there seconds to be gained on that? Yes, there is. And that might be something we aim for.
This climb features some dreadful percentages.
Here's where things have really picked up. You can see they are really pushing on, and a lot of the peloton. Well, nobody's been dropped yet, but the intensity has increased drastically. Hagelin and Zibinati are in the front group. Nobody else has been able to keep up with them. I'd be kind of okay with that if it's just the two of them up there doing their thing, though that does mean we lose out on Altengaro. Really crazy draw today. Not a good draw. We had a really good draw on a really unimportant stage earlier, and it's come back to bite us now. But look at these guys. The gaps are huge. So let's just take these guys, put them on auto. Take these guys and put them on auto, and let's focus on our top two guys. 32 riders left at the front. Zipinati will do the work for Hagelin, especially with a -3 race day condition. So for the moment, let's go ahead and protect him. 9.5K to the top of the sprint point. We'll wait a little bit longer here, and then just before the base, we will gel up. At first, we will protect, and then I don't know if we're in a great position to really be doing much attacking, but I'd love to see the group get down to, 5 or 10 riders. All right, 5K from the top of this thing. Zipinati will chase.
Only 15 kilometers left.
If necessary. Here we go. Big acceleration. They're pushing up the climb. Zipinati is done. Hagelin's still got a little something. We can try to go get those seconds at the top. That's the big thing. It's not going to be about the stage. 300 come through. And there you go. 3 seconds gained for Hagelin. And Zipinati still here. Group has thinned a little bit more. And a little bit further. There's another split off there. And here comes an acceleration. Zipinati, now that you're here. Push. 4 riders on the attack. Pogacar. There you go. Whoa. Let's follow Pogacar. Let Pogacar do the work. He's the one defending his overall. He should be able to handle that. These guys do gain 24 seconds. We were perfectly placed, but, sat up thinking there was no way that a break would hold. And it's not going to hold. It's caught fast. It's caught very fast. Mark Hershey attacks. That's why Pogacar wasn't chasing. That's why Pogacar wasn't chasing. It's his teammate. Okay, Zipinati start coming forward. Give us a chance to sprint, but these guys are not sprinters. 2.4. 1.9. Okay, Zipinati sprinting. And setting up Hagelin, and wow, that Zipinati didn't set him up well at all. Did not set him up well at all, but we're in a small group. 28 riders. It was down to 22 for a little bit. Bryant, Sobrero, and Pogacar take the win. And we're not going to get the points on this particular stage, but we're going to be placed well on the overall for 2 riders. Altengaro was in the other group, and he's too far back. He's missed out. He's lost a lot of time here. So he's definitely outside now of the contending positions. He'll drop well down the order. Many minutes behind. It's already been 6 minutes. So no Altengaro magic. We'll have 2 guys in the top 10. It was 2:15 to the nearest chase group, so it really does kind of cement things at the front. Remember that Hagelin picks up 3 seconds, and it's enough to jump over Zipinati and Sobrero. Sobrero on the same time as Zipinati now, so Sobrero moves up 8 spots from 15th. Yeah, so the 3 seconds we gained got us 1 spot higher than we would have been. Bryant also gains that little bit of time to get up to 3rd. Pogacar keeps the win. Hershey keeps 2nd. That was a smart move to really set up Pogacar for the overall by UAE to attack with Hershey. But 6th and 8th in a field of Pogacar and Hershey is pretty good. Gail Martin, it's pretty good. There's plenty of strong riders behind us that we beat, like Vervecki, who didn't even really get a mention here, or James Shaw, pretty quality riders. So beat James Knox. I'll take that. I'll take that. That's a pretty good result. Pretty good haul of points. I do think we missed an opportunity there, though, with Zippinati. I did not time his sprint. He had very little energy left on, what was that, stage 3? But I could have, with the separation that he had, probably turned that into that victory that he needed just 100 meters earlier on his sprint, and he would have made it. That's going to do it for this episode. Regardless, it's still good points, so it's still a good day. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.